Hey all, Tomo's Alters here. Welcome to my second video of the channel. This video for today will be the first video of my repair series. So I'm going to be doing various different videos throughout the channel. One of them is going to be car meets and going to car meets. And I'll be filming those as my first video. The next series will be maintenance and repairs on cars. This will be such as your oil changes, your brake changes, and any sort of other repairs to show you guys. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how I do a brake service on the car. So I've recently done a brake change on the rears. However, I'm going to do a service on the car in terms of brakes. I do these every sort of 6 months to 12 months period. I take all the brakes apart as I'm going to show you today. I clean them all up, lube them all up, put them back together. And the reason why I do this is to keep brake efficiency at maximum, keep all the squeals and the sounds at bay, and just make sure that the brakes are working properly so that nothing seizes up. And then try and keep them going as long as possible. So look out and enjoy the video. So this is the car I'm working on today. This is my 2004 Honda Accord. I've already done a brake change on this previously. I've done this job now twice on this car. Owned it for about 2 years. Yeah, these are the rear brakes. Again, these I've just changed in pretty good condition. So it should be a fairly nice and easy job to get these cleaned up. And then these are the front ones. Again, a little bit of a lip on here, as you can see, but they've got loads and loads of life left, and the pads have also got loads and loads of life left also. My first step now is I'm going to use a jack to jack up the car, and then I'll also lower it on the axle stands to then make sure that the car is safe and not going to fall on the ground. And then just before that, I'm going to loosen the lug nuts up, just to make sure they're nice and loose, ready for when she's up in the air. Okay, tools for today. So we've got a mat to rest on, so don't ruin my body. We've got a jack to obviously jack the car up. We've got a hammer, because you never know when we're going to need a hammer. We've got the axle stands there to put the car on axle stands so it's nice and safe. We've got a torque wrench to torque up the wheels. Okay, we've got a drill with some drill bits and also a manual brush as well, so we can get rid of all the rust and clean up the pads nice and effective and all the mating surfaces. This time I thought I'd revamp the brakes as well, so I've also got the rears sliders, and then I've also got some covers and the nuts, and on the fronts I've also got the fitting equipment for the fronts also. Then I've got some cloths, got some gloves, because you absolutely need some gloves when you're working on nice dusty brakes. Brake cleaner, I've got various pastes and stuff that I use, which I will go over later on in the video. And then I've also got the toolbox for all the tools that I'll need to take the brakes apart. So you need minimalistic work, minimalistic equipment really to work on your brakes. So that's the car jacked up, so I'll show you what I've done. So you can see, sorry, I'm a one-man person, so I can only can't do filming and jacking at once, unfortunately. So I've jacked her up. These are all the points that are denoted by the workshop manual for the car. So Honda said I should jack it up there, so I jack it up there for the rears. Means I can get both wheels off the ground at the same time. And if we go under the car, you can see they're the points that the workshop manual states I should put the axle stands. So I put them there, one on both sides, keep it nice and secure. What I'll do now is lower the car. I'll take the jack off, and then she is ready to get started with the job. Okay, next part of the process, we're going to take the wheel off, and then we're going to put the wheel under the car, just as an added safety measure. That's the wheel off, and now the wheel is now under the car. So these are the rear brakes on this particular car. As you can see, everything's all good, nothing's seized. So here we've got the caliper. Okay, caliper's held on by 2 bolts, which is just this bolt here, and then is also held down by this bolt down here as well, just where my fingers are. So what we'll do is we'll take those bolts off, we'll take the caliper off, and then we will take all the individual parts themselves, which I'll show you afterwards. Take the pads off, we'll get everything cleaned up. We'll put everything back together, and then she's good to go. So I got my 30mm and my medium ratchet, as I call it. Just put the socket on properly, and all we're simply going to do is just put the ratchet. I've already undone them. Sorry, I can't even get my words out today. Just so you're not seeing me struggle. Okay, and essentially we'll just take these 2 bolts. Once these 2 bolts are off, then the whole caliper will come off. that is the caliper off, and I've just left it to the side. Okay, don't start hanging the caliper down or anything like that on using the strength of the brake line, because potentially if they are old, they could break and you don't want to have to start replacing new brake lines and new calipers. Caliper's about 6 months old, probably done about 3,000 miles on this car maybe. And you can see they do need a clean. They're nice and dirty, ready to get attacked by the drill, and ready to get cleaned for another year. So what we're going to do now is we'll take the pads off. Okay, you can measure the pads if you do wish to. So these pads got replaced probably about 6 months ago, so December 24. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them up. One pad down. There's the other, as you can see, good condition. A bit rusty because I did wash a car yesterday, so everything's all rusty. Yeah, so put those pads down. Okay, next what it's also a really good idea to do is easier sliders. Okay, so these support the movement of the caliper. And essentially what we want to do is we want to take these sliders out. We want to clean them up and then re-grease them. We'll leave this, so this part here is the caliper carrier. We'll leave this on, and we'll leave the brake disc on. We'll just clean up all the areas, ready to get fitted. That's everything off. I'm just going to take these rubber bits off as well. So you remember we have brand new kits. We've got brand new slider pins, okay, which is just these here. So brand new slider pins for them as well. And then we've also got the rubber parts. So essentially brand new rubbers, which are just here. Hopefully my camera focuses. There we go, brand new rubber parts as well for it. Okay, so the next step now is to clean everything up. So I've got the drill and I've also got the manual brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean everything up. So that includes the surface of the brake disc. We're going to clean it up to minimize vibrations. We're going to clean up all the contact surfaces of the caliper carrier. Okay, get all of those, all of that dust, all that brake dust out of there, all of your grime. Going to clean the caliper up also. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll clean all the pads up and everything will be nice and clean, nice and fresh, ready to go back on the car. So I will do that now, and I will see you then. So that's the brakes cleaned up. So I've cleaned, as I said, I've cleaned the caliper. As you can see, it looks nice and new, nice and shiny. Clean the surface, the piston within the caliper, and clean all the edges as well. I've also cleaned the edges and the surfaces of the contact surfaces of the caliper carrier too. And I've got rid of the old fitting kit, and here we've got a new fitting kit. So we've got the pads, which I've cleaned up, so they look nice and new and ready to go. And we've also got the sliders here, brand new. We've got the bolts that go into the caliper, and then we've also got the rubber grommet, which should just prevent dust and grime going into the sliders. So what I will do is I'll get all that fitted, and I will show you the end product. Before I put everything back together, I'll just show you what I use. So I use this Liquid Moly anti-squeal paste. I believe that's what the conversion is anyway from German. So I use this stuff. Why do I use this stuff? So essentially I got recommended this at Silverstone when I was taking one of the cars around the track. I was using copper grease, which is what most people use. And then that copper grease started overheating and the brake started binding. And so what I did was I recommended to change to this. So I bought some of this on site, and I was absolutely fine, no issues. Brakes were performing perfectly, no overheating. So now I use this on all the cars that I do. I use this just for the contact areas of the pad. And I also use them for the sliders, which was my particular issue on that day on the track. And then I use the copper grease just to essentially grease just around the hubs. That's all I use the copper grease for now. The remainder I use this. So it's really, really good stuff. I would recommend it, especially if you are track guys like I used to be, taking Civics around the track. Then this is, or any other cars for that matter of fact. This is really useful and really good stuff. So that's everything lubed up and good to go. So that's the caliper sliders lubed up. So they will pop into here, like so. Essentially they'll just pop into there like that, and then just make sure they are free. Okay, which they are, which is good. So I'll just focus the video there. Okay, coming into the next one again. Popping them in, making sure they are nice and free. Exactly like so. Just get rid of that on there. Very good. So that's the slider pins back in, and then simply what we'll do is we will whack the brake pads back in also. So what I've done is I've pasted the contact areas of the pad, which is on the side there, and where the caliper hits, and then same on that one, on the contact areas, a bit messier on that one, and then on the fronts, or on the back of the pad should I say. Obviously be careful not to get any paste or anything else, any alien matter if you like, on the base of the pads, because that could cause your brakes to fail. That is the pads back in place. I'll get the caliper on now, I'll bolt everything up, and then I'll show you the end result. So that's everything bolted back up. Caliper is back on, all secure. And then I've also greased, copper greased the hubs as well, just to minimise any vibrations. So that is it for this side. What I'll do is now is I won't video it. I'll just go around to the other side, I'll smash out the other side, and I'll join you back in the video with the fronts where we will tackle those. Step one, same as the rears, we're going to jack up the car. Again, using the workshop manual, it then states that I should jack it up just at the front of the subframe there. So I've jacked up at the front of the subframe, and then I've let her go on the axle stands, and I've also got the wheels underneath the car just as a secondary measure. Okay, so moving in, so this is the front brakes, they're slightly different as and the rears, but essentially it's the same principle. So we've got this retaining clip here, so I will take that retaining clip out. And then we've also got two bolts here which I'm going to replace. So one is here at the top. Essentially all it is that cap pops off, Allen key, take the screw out, and then it is the same on the bottom also, as you can see, exactly the same principle. So what we'll do is we will take that retaining clip out, we'll take those bolts out, and then we'll take the caliper off, and then we'll clean through everything exactly as we did before again. The fronts are a little bit dusty and a little bit more dirty than the rears. Because on this car it's about 70% braking on the front, followed by 30% braking on the rear, so the fronts are nearly double as important, and they have nearly double as the braking as the rears. So yeah, I'll get cracking on with that, and I'll come back once I've taken everything off. Yep, so that's the caliper off, as you can see. So what we'll do is get this cleaned up here. I've just left it resting on the brake disc now. We'll get all this cleaned up, get the inside of the piston cleaned up as well. We'll get all the contact edges, same as before, this side and this side here. Also we'll get all of this cleaned up here. Then what we'll do is we'll change the fitting kit out, and once we've done that, then we'll take the pads off. We will clean the pads, we'll clean again all the surface areas of the pads, make sure the pads are good to go. We'll get and clean up the contact area of the disc, and then once we've done that, we'll get everything fitted back again. So again, nice and easy job, very similar to the rears, to be honest. So this is a fitting kit we've got for the front brakes. Not really a great deal of difference. I just like to, when I service the brake, especially if it hasn't been done on the car in my ownership or it hasn't been done for a while, it's just to refresh everything. It just means everything's brand new, especially with the rears as well, where you coat these with some sort of liquid or substance. It's always good to get them done. I like to do it anyway, just to peace of mind, and as a little project. Essentially all that happens is with these is I've already done the first one. Is essentially it just pops in, so it just slides in and then pops back out again. Nice and simple, nice and easy. That's the caliper nice and clean and good to go. And now we'll move on to the caliper carrier, exactly the same as the rears. We'll get these pads, still got loads of life left, get the pads nice and cleaned up, nice and refreshed. And it's always a good idea while you're doing your annual service on your brakes, just to make sure that everything's good. Make sure everything's within legal limits, to make sure everything's safe. If there is anything broken or starting to crack, like for example any of your piston seals, it's starting to crack, starting to show signs of wear, any your brake lines, etc. It's always good just to get them replaced before anything does happen. Worst case scenario, you're stuck on the side of the road for hours waiting for a recovery, or you could potentially have limited braking and have an accident. It's always a good idea just to check everything over, and that's exactly why we do these. It's just to minimise that risk of anything happening on the road. So what I'll do is I'll get started with the caliper carrier and the brake pads, and once everything's done, and I will also actually I'll also just clean this area here. Once everything's done, I will give you a shout. So that's the caliper carrier all sorted out, all nice and clean. A really good tool, like saves the drill. I've got one of these end fittings on there. I got it from B&Q, I believe I got it from. Good end fitting just means that you can get into all the nooks and crannies, and then one of these wire brushes as well, just to get into those bits that you can't get to with the drill. But a nice top tip, really good. Really good piece of equipment that is. But But yeah, they are all clean, all good to go. Now what we'll do is we'll lube up the areas that we need to lube up. So on the pads, pads are all cleaned up as well, as you can see. So I've cleaned up all the contact areas outside of the pad as well. And just cleaned everything up nicely on those. So I'll get all those lubed up, and I'll get the copper grease on the disc. And then we're good to go to start installing everything back in again. Pads are lubed up and back in, and now we'll just get the caliper installed. Just putting the caliper back on now. So we've got my ratchet, since you're just going to tighten everything up. Here's what I call a hexi bolt for these. And there we go, I'll torque that back up later. And same with the top one. Yeah, that is tight. And then simply all you need to do is just whack these caps back in, which I need to put the new caps in actually. And you get new caps and they just simply slot back in there. He says. There you go, that's one. And then also on the bottom one. Hopefully you can see that. And that is all good to go. Everything lubed up, everything put back on, and everything tightened up. Okay, just need to put copper grease on the disc, brake clean the disc just to get all the excess stuff off that I've just got off from the pads from cleaning. And then what I'll do is put the wheel back together, and then I'll do the other side. That's it, wheels back on. Now it's time to do the other side. So that is the other side done on the Accord. So that is all 4 brakes. They've been taken apart, cleaned, serviced, and then put back together again. Last but not least, now the wheels are on the ground, we need to torque up the wheels. You should do this every single time you take your wheels off and put them back on again. So I've got Halford's Advanced torque wrench. So I would like to say something about the Halford's Advanced tools. I think they're really, really good. I've got the jack, as you can see, Halford Advanced jack. I've also got the jack that stands, and I've also got the toolbox also. Okay, with these, they are a lifetime warranty, so I've taken loads and loads of parts back now to Halfords to get replaced, and they're replacing free of charge without a receipt. So a really, really good starter tool set if you are looking to get into your cars. So that's what I need. So I said we need to torque the wheels of the car. So here's got a torque wrench. I've set it to 112, which is the manufacturer's OEM specifications. Okay, and simply all that you need to do, and I'll just do it for one wheel. Obviously I'm going to do them for all of them. Simply what you need to do is just pop it in. Okay, and then you'll hear a click. Like so. Okay, do that for all of your wheels, every single time you take wheels off. Don't torque your locking wheel nuts, just do those hand tight. This car doesn't have any locking wheel nuts, so you can just do the normal 90mm socket. Okay, so I'll get those torques all back up, and then I'll do a outro and then the video there. Once you've put everything back together and the car's all good to go, would absolutely recommend that you go on a test drive, take the car for a test drive, do different braking at different speeds, harsh braking, medium braking, low braking, different speeds. Up and down hill is always good. Long periods of braking, slow periods of braking, just making sure that everything works. There's no knocks or bangs or no squeals or anything, and everything's working as it should. So that is the end of the video. That's all 4 wheels, brakes now, all serviced on the Accord for another year of motoring business. A little bit dirty, you see, it's quite a messy job. Wear gloves when you can. I wore gloves, they just got torn apart as well. Maybe I'll get some stronger gloves for next time. But yeah, really important to do this job. I do it sort of every 6 months, 12 months on the car. If you're using your car quite a lot, maybe every day, you could do that every 6 months. If you're not using your car so often, then you can do it every year and get away with it. But it is really good starter job as well for those that are looking to get into cars. I've done it numerous times now. You just need little tools really, and it's nice and easy. It usually takes about, if you're doing it nice and slowly, it takes about an hour, 15 minutes per side. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like and subscribe if you do want more content. Obviously feel free to comment below if there's anything that I've missed or anything you feel I could be better, or even if I've done something good for once, then please feel free to comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.